Hello everybody. Zimbabwe, my front garden actually. My most favorite time of the year. Springtime in Africa, especially Zimbabwe, because Zimbabwe is just, well, it's just warmer than Cape Town for a start. But this is my front garden and it's just so beautiful and green and the sky is blue. I mean, it's divine, and the ground energy here in this house, my house, which I call the temple, it's just so peaceful, and it's just, I think it's exactly where I need to be after the Lion's Gate and obviously that full moon, which I'm going to talk about just now. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. The Lion's Gate came in very intense, a little bit wobbly on the start. So the 26th kicked in, and then that was just like super intense because everything just was kaboom, kabam. And where I ended up on Lion's Gate, my strongest message that came through is everything. I was all planned for serious ceremonies with sangomas in the mountains, sacred mountains, and I was going to do all of that stuff, you know, ceremonial vibes. And I ended up as with a really cool bunch of people at a trance party in the back end of Bulawayo in Africa, just like playing with fire with my friends. You've probably seen the videos, and it was about fun. For me, it was about fun. It was about stepping in, living life instead of being caught up in the serious spiritual side of things. Just live life, man, and just be in this body, be in this life. So that was the message that I received, because every single thing I tried to do and plan, it completely got wiped by spirit, and I ended up just enjoying, just having fun. And I think when us spiritual types are at work, especially when we are conscious creators and we know that we've got a powerful mission and purpose, I think that we get lost in the seriousness of spirituality, which is why most of us are hermits, you know, and we kind of like sit there and just like, oh no, I don't want to go out, don't want to interact with anybody. We just sit at home and read spiritual books and do our video blogs and God knows what else. It's time to get out there and live life now, because it just is, you know, it's about being in this physical body here, not up in the stars. This is where it's at. The party is here. So that was my experience with Lion's Gate. Yours might have been slightly different, and that's the beauty of this path. Each and every one of us has a different path and purpose, and so the messages will be very unique to you. So let's move straight into the full moon. Full moon, straight into it. I mean, isn't it funny? We have these powerful portals, and then spirit just goes, oh, and have a full moon on top of it. I mean, it is absolutely poetic how it just lines up. So this full moon, pink moon, I think it was called, was all about what I call karmic dispensation, karmic closure, wrapping up of things. I have been clearing my space a lot of people, places, situations, old memories, old habits, old everything actually, which is always very much the moon energy, full moon, but it just came with a more specific tone. And then that leads you straight into forgiveness, because the other thing that full moon was about forgiveness. So it was really getting right with things that have happened, with people, things that are getting right with situations like that may not, like, you know, have turned out how you wanted them to turn out, and just allowing that heartache and pain to just go, because it's actually just illusion, because it's all history, you know what I mean? It's gone. So yeah, so that moon came in. I mean, the Lion's Gate is still running, and it will do so until the 22nd of August, right, which is not too far away. So again, it's about acceptance of core power. I mean, this whole Lion's Gate portal is acceptance of core power. So with that, that's what I want to dive into now. Next layer of this is by now you should have a very strong sense of direction, of what you've come here to do. You know, my work is all about working with the conscious creators. My work is all about you know, opening the portal, creating the pathway, like how do you get there, and then landing on the platform. What's the sacred architecture, meaning the business being of light that you're going to build? You know, what's the legacy you're leaving behind? Because there has to be something that comes into physical form. We can't just circle in the stars anymore. So what are we creating in this world? And, you know, how are we going to have fun doing it? Co-creations with others, and so on and so on. So what is that for you? What is that for you? So you should have a strong sense of that by now, this stage of the game. You should also have what needs to come before that because for you to be able to do that, you got to have a clear sense of who you are, like your energetic personality. And what I mean by that is, what have you got in your toolbox? Okay, what is in your toolbox? You know, what did you come here with? So knowing thyself is to know you are God, as the Egyptians say. But like, let's get into that. Like, you know, that's your superpowers. You know, God is one big superpower, and we're part of it because we're all in the same consciousness, right? We all share the same stream of consciousness. So in that, we all have our little magic toolboxes, and in that toolbox, there are things that you specifically chose. So that's what I mean about your own energetic personality. I'm going to hit you with a question now, which is going to reveal quite clearly where you are at the game. So, can you name right off the bat now 4 superpowers that you have? 4 divine geniuses, as I call it. What are your gifts? 4 gifts that you know that you have, which are unique to you. Go. And listen, if there's a pregnant pause, that gives you so much information. If you are like, well, there's this, that obviously gives you so much information as well. So it doesn't matter if you paused and you were like, I don't know. If you are one of those people, then you've got work to do, because by this, like I say, this stage of the game, you should know exactly that. But it doesn't mean that you're behind the game. It just means that you haven't addressed something which is just one big screen block. Why do you not know that? And it won't be that you now need to go on searching, you know, on this quest to actually find out what this divine genius is that you hold. You know what they are. There's just a block. So what's the block? You know, you could be just fearful of getting out there and being seen. Maybe you have a really, really good idea and you don't know how to action it. Maybe you want to go and take tours to Egypt like I do. You know what I mean? You don't even know where to start. But you have so much to share. And then that's where it all gets scrambled because you don't know your divine genius. It all gets tangled up in that. But you've got to get to the base matter of what is the block, you know? Now, if you are one of those that answered that question, I'm like, well, I've got, like, you know, I have strong vision, I'm an alchemical decoder, da, 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 da. Well, I want to ask you, okay, so what's the plan? What are you putting it into? Do you have a project, a business being of light that you're working on? Are you looking to basically do something completely different? You know, what is the plan? That's really important because you're obviously ready to action that, you know? So yeah, so it's like either side of that. What is the plan? So, yeah, I mean, I'm just going to use myself as an example. Like, you know, it's like my divine geniuses can also become in a personality trait. So, for example, like, you know, I'm always finding a joke in anything. I have such a humor, and I'm not serious for 5 minutes, but I'm very serious about my path, but I laugh and I joke my way through it. I think I mentioned on my post before that I was also nicknamed the Cosmic Comic because I'm just like banters my way the way I go about things. But it's my divine genius because I make it fun for myself and others around me. If I can't do it laughing and joking, then I'm not interested, sorry. And there has to be that lightness, because above where there is love, the second vibration, which is the highest vibration, is laughter. Opens your heart like boom. So that's divine genius number 1. And that is what I mean by that's a personality trait, which is basically my divine genius. A second one that I have is I am an activator. So I get in people's faces, and I'm a little bit much for some people, but you know what? It triggers them. I'm like Marmite. You either love me or you hate me. Do you know what I mean? Either way, I'm either going to activate you because you're going to go, yeah, that's awesome, I feel so amazing. Or you're just going to say, well, she's so loud. She talks too fast. Don't like her hair. Quite frankly, she not my cup of tea. And I can rub you up the wrong way. Still an activation to action, is it not? You know, so you see where I'm going with that. I mean, obviously, you know, I help conscious creators create. That's why the Egypt tours and everything like that are in place, because I offer very powerful expeditions and missions, and you know, we go special places to bring about that kind of like inspired action to be able to create, you know. That's what I do. So, I mean, really, this video is all about, like, do you know who you are? What's in your toolbox? And you know what? You don't have to have 10 million, like, tools in there. You just need to have a few. But do you know what they are, you know? So, like, I'm going to leave that there because this is kind of like, you know, This is a moment to go off and actually reflect on this, go into meditation, and maybe get pen to paper and get a bit practical about it. Do you know what I mean? And say, right, okay, what's cracking? You know, what am I doing here? So now we're kind of like on the other side, because we did say August was going to be a powerful month for shifting, you know. August, it was all going to kind of like, I mean, June, July, we were still purging quite a lot. August, we're kind of like, woof, we come up. Now September, you're going to find that you're going to be really taking a different direction, the direction that you were always supposed to take. So let me tell you now, things are going to start changing. For those that are conscious, which are those watching this video, and those that have done the work, we've already done the dark nights of the soul. We really have, you know, because this is why we do these videos and connect and help each other, because we're like, oh, another spiritual death, like another one. How many times can a being like die? Lots. So we already done that. But what's going to happen is humanity as a whole collective is going to go through this for the first time just now, which is why we do what we do. Do you know what I mean? And it's really important now that if you have a conscious creation you want to bring forth, share it, man. If you've got a video you want to do, record it and post it. You know what I mean? It's time to now share your divine genius, because whether you feel that you are adequate, inadequate, whatever, got to get rid of the inadequacy, because we all hold very, very special codes within that we agreed in this timeline to share. And that might be, God, you want to teach origami? Go and bloody do it, because somewhere there's some light in there. It's creativity. You know what I mean? Somebody might find that extremely meditative, and before you know it, you've got a whole YouTube channel showing people how to do it. It's so positive, but it's so important. So that is my mission, to help those that basically need to unpack it. Because remember, it's about the portal. You open the portal, it's the aha moment. The pathway is basically how you travel to that, okay? And the platform is basically what you create at the end of it. It's this beautiful rainbow, okay? So if you are struggling with this kind of like forward momentum and now you need to get cracking, I don't really talk about my sessions too much, because I'm always like, anyway, I'm talking about them now. So the sessions and that I do, which are basically like a mentorship, you know, so you've got to be ready for them. You know, they certainly aren't something you want to pitch up to week, but I do work with specific people who are ready, or specific beings who are ready to unpack this mission and purpose. And we get stuck in, the session is quite deep, but we get stuck in, and I give you homework and everything like that. So these single sessions can be very much like a mentorship, and you just basically work with me in that manner. And you cannot do those sessions each week because they're just too intense. But to do a session, start to get the energy running, and you start to unpack it, and then we do another session when the time is right. That's how we roll, okay? So that's really, really important. And then for those of you who are really ready for that itch you can't scratch, but you need something big to blow the doors off because you've done a lot of work and you're waiting for that next level stuff, well, then that's the Tablets of Light tour, which is coming on March the 30th in 2023, which is just next year, okay, which isn't that far away. Now, the way that works is very much like a mentorship, actually. So if you like to really get your teeth stuck into everything, the tour is just the middle bit of the whole experience. I will be doing energy work with you prior, okay, specifically downloaded frequencies, energies, tools that I have brought through into a recorded meditation. You get those to start preparing your system. We have groups, we work with you, you know, or I work with you, we work with you. And then we go to Egypt and we have all of the temples unlock and activate, and all the way through I'm kind of like making sure that you're focusing on your creation that you want to bring forth, and Egypt will open that to you. And then of course what is most important is the integration after the Egypt tour, which is all basically supporting you in landing your business being of light, bringing your creation into the fullness, and then facilitating, away you go. So it is, I mean, I'm going to be talking in a lot more depth about this nearer the time, which is going to be very soon, because I'm just in the process of launching all of this. So but I'm kind of giving a call to action now. It's time to go. So if you feel that that is like calling you now, even before I launch the tour, get in touch, pop a message in the comments. Let's have a Zoom call, because we do have a Zoom kind of like process that we have to go through just to make sure the energy is aligned and it is a suitable fit. And that is for the mentor sessions or the Egypt tour. So whatever. But I mean, it's here for you, man. So you have the tools, you have the support, you have the support. So yeah. Anyway, I'll leave you with that. Love and light, y'all. And I'll do another video when I'm inspired to. Peace.